Troy Taylor, 10 points, 2 assists, 2 boards. One thing that Butch Carter has done is he solved the Mason Archie problem. 33 points on Friday. He has just 9 so far here tonight. We're back to game action. Quick turnover by Isaiah Thomas. Not the way you'd want to start your first possession of the second half, Coach.
No, that was just a careless play. And after being down in the first half at home, you want to come out with a sense of urgency, and that was not it.
Mason Archie.
Another play like that, and you'll see it. Let's travel. Another play like that, you'll see a timeout from Coach Carter.
The coach came out of you there with that to travel underneath your breath. Foul called. Felix Frimpong get himself to the line. You weren't lying. Not a lot of height on that kid. Frimpong staying at 5'11".
I think that's a generous
I was
listing right there. But, hey, he plays with a big heart. As you can see, the first play of the game, he knocked down a 3 after about 1 pass. And that's impressive. It shows some guts.
Frimpong, one of the 9 Canadians in the CBL. He's from Rexdale, Ontario, averaged over 20 points per game with Martin Grove Collegiate. In the glory days of Martin Grove Collegiate there just north of Toronto. But his senior season, he transferred to a high school in Kentucky.
Great hustle by Dominique Walls to chase that rebound down.
Hustle and Dominique Walls, words that are synonymous together. And there's Isaiah Thomas with an offensive board.
Bounce pass.
Jody Hill back the other way. Finds Chris Carter, you mentioned earlier. He elevates with ease.
Yeah, he kind of glides around the court. And when you see him going towards the rim, he gets up there in a hurry.
Scott faces that double team. The skip pass, that can be great. It can also lead to turnovers. This time it leads to a three-pointer from Felix Frimpong.
That's a tough shot for a right-handed guy. Falling into the corner with the backboard in your way. Tough shot.
Ooh, that was close. It's called a goaltend. Once again, we play with FIBA rules here in the CBL. It still does not mean you can touch the ball as it's on its way down towards the rim. Once it hits the rim, it's a live ball. That's the difference between the North American rules that we're used to seeing played in the NBA. Isaiah Thomas with a couple of quick turnovers, and he finds himself back on the bench.
A good move by Evan Pennell there, going towards the rim, being patient. I thought he got hit on the arm in the shot.
Jody Hill running off the screen, cashing from distance. And Mason Archie, that IQ, sneaks in for the steal, but he can't finish. Frimpong takes it the other way. Nice look to Walls, who's gotten a lot better around the rim. He's really improved those hands.
Yeah, Coach Carter places a big emphasis on being able to use both sides of your body. And Dominique, when we first met him, was a strictly right-handed player. Nice defense there.
Would have liked to see him grab onto that ball.
Nice awareness, though. But Dominique has really worked at his left hand. And as you can see right there, he's able to finish in the paint with his left hand.
He's also expanded his range a little bit as well as Walls. I've seen that.
Troy Taylor with a rare three-pointer there. Coach Carter can't be too upset with that.
The one aspect of Troy's game that...
Good foul. Good foul.
I was just saying that's one of the few aspects of Troy Taylor's game that I guess is lacking is that shot from distance. I think they're seeing if this is a foul to the head.
As you can see right there, Hamilton goes to a run and jump with Chris Carter, who, when he stretches his arms out, he's about 7 feet tall, it looks like. So for Felix, who's a shorter player, to get jumped by two guys like that at midcourt caused a turnover for Hamilton. So nice aggressive defense there by Hamilton and Coach Anderson.
Mason Archie finds Jody Hill.
Nice play.
Bank shot and in. Mark Anderson scratching his head looking at his players on the bench. Did he call it?
He said that's how he drew it up.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if he called it. Jody Hill leading the league in points per game. Got to give him the benefit of the doubt on that shot.
Hamilton continues to trap these Wellington guards who have not proven consistently that they can handle the ball and handle the pressure. So look for Hamilton to continue to trap and pressure the ball, and Wellington's either going to handle it and capitalize, or they're going to continue to turn it over.
Offensive rebound, Gilbert Giamfi. He's fouled. One thing we haven't mentioned as of yet is a late night trade that went on here in the CBL. Manny Thomas traded from Durham United, as they've added a roster or player to their roster as well. And they traded Manny Thomas here to Wellington for a player to be named later. And we were talking about the guards being trapped here tonight. And I know Manny, I guess, started as a two guard in the season, used at the point by Milt Palacio there out in Durham United the last 4 or 5 games. So should come in here and help these young guards a little bit.
Yeah, Manny will do a good job with the Wellington team because he's a very vocal guy, and he'll help communicate what they're trying to do. He plays with a lot of energy and he plays hard, so he'll be helpful on the wing for Wellington.
That's one thing I have found out really about this Wellington squad. They don't talk an awful lot on defense. Not a lot of screaming and yelling. You see a lot of guys get cut up on screens that way.
Yep. Well, by nature, they have guys that aren't necessarily very vocal. Devin Scott can be at times, but Jeremiah Williams as a point guard is not very vocal. And I know Coach Carter's been working with him on that to help him grow and develop, but it's a process. It takes time.
It comes with maturity and comfort as well, right?
Sure. Good defense there by Wellington.
Troy Taylor, no good. Carter trying to pull down the offensive rebound. He's out-muscled by Giamfi. .550 left here in the third quarter. Hamilton United has extended their 4-point halftime lead up to 7. They're doing a great job boxing out Devin Scott on the glass there. Taylor finds Archie. Glassing in. Extending that lead up to 9. You can see these players that have been added here. High IQ. Seem to know what to do out there on the floor.
Yeah, for Wellington here, Gilbert has had 4 or 5 looks at the three-point shot, and he's been short in the first half, and then he was just long on that one. So hopefully he can find the touch. It should stay here.
You are correct, Coach, and we have a timeout on the floor. 61-52 for Hamilton United. We'll be back to the University of Guelph after this break.
You should play in the league.
A 9-point lead for Hamilton United. They've extended their 4-point advantage. A lot of the players added to this Hamilton United basketball club, well known to their head coach Mark Anderson, who's from the Indianapolis area. They now have 4 players from that same area. A lot of them played in the ABA either against each other or with each other. That familiarity is going to give them quite an advantage as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense to go to where you either have some scouts to help you or your hometown like Coach Anderson did, because then you have a true evaluation that you can trust. Ourselves here with the Scarborough team, we added a player, Taekwon Gord, who was previously staying in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is not far from my hometown. I had my brother and some close friends go take a look at him and work him out, and it ended up being a good fit, I think, for us. But you get a chance to have some trusted eyes on him.
One of those new players is Will Thompson, finds himself back at the line. Got his first points as a pro in the CBL from the line in the first half. Immediately became the biggest player on this squad at 6'9", 245.
Yeah, he's a big, strong guy, and he seems to have a pretty good touch. He just misses a free throw there, but he has made a few. Jason, this is a chance for Wellington to get into this game here. They're down 7. Could go to 8 right here, but with 4 fouls on Hamilton, if they can get aggressive here, they can live at the free throw line for these last 4 minutes and potentially get back into the game to make it a 1 or 2 possession game.
Only 4 free throws in that first half for Wellington as a team. So that could be the magical potion to get them back to within striking distance here. Jeremiah Williams almost loses it. That's the guy to get it to is Aldor Kola, but he can't touch rim.
If I'm Wellington, you want to go towards the rim there, not away from it. And basically everybody that touched the ball was looking to pass it back out rather than go towards the rim. So they should look to get a little more aggressive here with the last 4 minutes.
Hamilton seems to have done a good job. They're not allowing Devin Scott to get the ball as deep as he normally does.
Yeah, well, they got 245 pounds worth of resistance they have just recently brought in. Ooh.
And that's Derek Stewart, an acrobatic tip shot finish. Stewart, as you had mentioned earlier, added about 3 weeks ago from Philadelphia. Won 3 state championships in high school, a 1-11-11 overall record. And I know it's just high school, but those are players who know how to win. You want them on your team, right?
Yep, it's extremely valuable. And as you watch the game or look at the box score, you might not, Derek Stewart might not pop out to you, but he's definitely contributes to winning.
The guys who may not stand out in the box score, but if you have to ask the coaches or his teammates, he's one of the first guys mentioned. There's Jeremiah Williams cashing in, but they get lost in transition going the other way.
Yeah, I don't think that they've communicated what they're in. Is it a zone?
And a tough finish from Dominic Walls. Stewart
Turn around.
put his body on the line. Didn't get the call. That was Gilbert Guillaume on the sideline screaming at Jeremiah Williams to turn around. They got lucky. Jody Hill couldn't cash it. Williams.
Stay with it. Stay with it.
Opportunity on the stick back. Walls also can't finish.
Steal it.
Pinnell gets a hand in there.
It's a good run.
2:59 to go here in the third quarter. A 7-point lead for Hamilton United. We'll be back.
Oh, property link. Good job, buddy.
over here. Okay? All right, good. Come on. Defense.
Interim head coach for the Wellington Basketball Club, Butch Carter, back on the sidelines for the first time since his tenure with the Raptors. Took over this team, a winless team. Got him into the winning column just a couple of weeks back. Now sitting at 2-9. A game within a game to watch Butch Carter work these officials on a nightly basis here on the weekends. Mason Archie inbounds to Troy Taylor.
Wellington looks to be back in their boxing one here, trying to limit Jody Hill to any points here. But they got less than 3 minutes in the quarter, and it's a chance for Wellington to get back into this game at only 7-point deficit.
Yeah, could put money on Jody Hill at least reaching 20 points tonight after being held to just 9 back on Friday. Foul called. Would have put money there too that Troy Taylor wasn't going to take a second 3-point attempt in this game.
He's such a smart player, and I think the sign of a really good player is one that knows his limitations. And Troy really knows that if he does make a three, it's not necessarily fool's gold, but he's looking to do that right there, which is set our guys up. And then offensive rebound.
That is the Troy Taylor I know. Led the NCAA in offensive rebounds at the guard position. He led all guards in the offensive rebounding category in his senior season when he was at...
Good take by Jeremiah there. He's going to the free throw line now as Hamilton goes into the bonus, and it's a chance for them to get some rest, collect your breath, get a couple free throws, and organize your defense on the other end.
As mentioned before, Troy Taylor at the University of Evansville. Division I school, obviously not a big name school. And he didn't tear apart the score sheet down there, but 5 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game. Those are the type of players that I think can excel in the CBL, right? Guys that fall through the cracks, don't necessarily have a contract waiting for them in Europe. And they can come up here to the Canadian Basketball League and just improve as a player.
But nothing about Troy is going to really jump out at you in a workout or a tryout physically, but he is so smart. He really knows how to play, and he consistently wins. That's a bucket right there.
That was a 4-on-0 is what that was as well.
Good hustle by the new guy, though. That was impressive to see him chase that down.
I think Jeremiah Williams heard footsteps, but they were all his teammates until, out of nowhere, Will Thompson, maybe just trying to show his coach and his teammates that he won't give up on a play. I think he knew that was going to be a goaltender. Here's head coach Butch Carter with his troops.
Why let him throw the ball in there? Just get in front of him, Cola. Please, just get in front of him. If shot goes up, the worst thing happens is you just push a bad free throw shooter out of bounds. All right, we win the possession. Okay? Gilbert, same play, Jeremiah. All right? Evan, pay attention, all right? Devin, you're going to set the first one. Evan, you're here this time, all right? Gilbert, you got it here. So when they set the second, Cola set the second screen, you should be open. If not, Evan's going to pop hands. Gilbert, you throw it with the left hand, and Devin's in the post. Okay? All right? All right, come on.
We talk about the CBL being a great opportunity for these players. Also very impressive when you sit down in a huddle and you're sitting across from a former NBA coach. Great chance to learn for all these guys.
Yep. Butch is a teacher of the game, so coach is going to teach these guys. It's not going to happen overnight, but he's going to make them better players and better people if they're willing to listen.
Very cool to hear those stories from the different guys as well. As mentioned, Evan Pennell. I was just chatting with him about the mid-range game, how much it's improved, and he just said, Butch fixed my shot. So very cool to hear that especially for such young players, to kind of see their eyes light up. Because it's constantly a work in progress, right? You're talking about an individual game.
Yeah, it's short-term goals, and you just take it day by day and consistently put the work in, and you'll gain confidence from seeing some of that pay off as Devin Scott cleans up that miss with the dunk. And Wellington's cut it to a 1-point game.
So what a beautiful play that was. Running off the screen, nice pass to Kola, can't get it to go, and on the weak side, Devin Scott finishes it off. Troy Taylor again from range. And there's Kola battling for the rebound. Scott comes in and takes it. Wellington with a chance to take their first lead since the opening quarter.
Well, that was Wellington executing out of a timeout.
Oh, Gianfi can't get to go. The bench was up, ready to see themselves take the lead, and instead Jody Hill coming the other way with the quick trigger. Doesn't get it to go. The shot clock just resets to 14, and Muhammad.
Jason, we watched Mohammed in New York City at a tryout, and he did not miss for 2 straight days from 3-point range. And I think some of our coaches that saw him and scouted him were under the impression that he was a shooter. And in the first 2 months of the season, he really didn't have any confidence and wasn't making his outside shot. But right there is what we saw back in the summer and early fall when we were recruiting.
I was absolutely shocked to hear you say that, because that's it. I've called 5 of his games, I think, this year, and that's exactly it. I think that may be the first 3-point shot I've seen him make personally, not saying he hasn't. But having said that, the mid-range game was impressive in the early part of the season.
Yep. Well, on our scouting report, we had him down as a shooter, and as the season's gone by, we've backed away from that and just said he hasn't made him, and he hasn't really even been taking him. So Evan Pennell with a great take right there, getting to the free throw line again.
Felix Frimpong and Dominic Walls check into the game. Devin Scott's going to have to get himself off the floor. They're going to play with 6 guys. Scott was having a chat with the official. Mason Archie comes in for Chris Carter for the final possession.
Great chance for Wellington here to end the game with a stop on the defensive end as they stay in their boxing 1 with Evan Pennell on Jody Hill.
Troy Taylor finds Muhammad. Excuse me, Mr. Muhammad. Connecting from downtown to push the lead to 5. Showing this play-by-play guy what's what. 5-point lead thanks to the Muhammad 3. Back-to-back threes for the Hamilton United wingman. 72-67 through 3 quarters. Stay with us. We're back for 4th quarter action.
He doesn't come back on D.
A 4-point halftime lead